Dear perceptive reader, there was once a father who was very busy, but at the same time, he loved his children. And so while he was gone throughout the day, sometimes for long hours, he still wanted to give them something that would, for lack of a better word, because it seems applicable, even keep them preoccupied. However, it was more with the motive of, no, not just giving them something to keep them busy, but literally something that they could enjoy. So each child, he gave them this or he gave them that. Well, he had a little boy who would often play in the backyard. So he purchased a whole bunch of sand. Um, Not enough sand to take up the whole backyard. No, it was probably maybe 7 by 7, 8 by 8, something like that. You see, just a little sandbox. And yet, in that sandbox, what started as maybe the child just picking up the sand and then letting it run through his fingers, all of a sudden, over time, as the boy was growing, he just started creating castles and other types of structures uh, in his playtime, in his own imagination, from his own imagination. And so the father got to the point where when he wasn't busy, he was looking forward to actually each day coming to see what was left, you see, from the day before, what have you. But you know what was a little downer as people would talk? What was a little downer was those different structures and moats and bridges and things that his son would make, even though his son would actually leave them there, by the next day, they were always somehow gone. And it didn't even rain the night before or anything of that nature, but it literally would be gone because it was just some, sad to say, intrusive, not respecting boundaries, kids around the street or neighborhood that would just come in and play around with stuff and even mess them up. And so those little items or structures were gone. So what the father did was he went on and bought some other materials from cardboard, the wood, and he just made another nice structure that could, it wasn't as big as the the 7 by 7, 8 by 8 a structure, but what it was it was enough that it could still fit in that structure. Okay, it could still fit in that sandbox area, and so the boy could still sit down in the sand and yet put out his little square cardboard, not only cardboard, but wood structure that his father gave him. But that wasn't the only thing. His father purchased some Lego blocks. Oh yeah, they had different um, um, quantities that you could purchase, from in the hundreds to even the thousands. And back in the day, they didn't cost as much as they probably cost now for that many. Well, he purchased it for his son. And then he also gave his son some crazy glue or super glue, okay? For any type of structure that he wanted to make, that he wanted to stay permanent, you see? He gave him that glue for that, the glue to the cardboard and wood board. And so what happened is the boy, of course, started his creations, and he didn't use the crazy glue that much at all, However, uh, for his father, you see, he built a nice structure of Lego blocks, and it was just beautiful. That he crazy glued that from the bottom all the way up to the top. And so even at night, when he brought the cardboard in back into the house or the garage, you see, he was able to still take that structure and just set it up either on his table or desk or what have you that was in his room. And then every time he wanted to enjoy the outside, the air, the breeze of God, if you will, he would, take the cardboard and lay back down in the sand and get to creating again. Well, there was one person down the street that always kind of felt left out. You see, left out that they didn't have anything to do, especially in the summertime. And so what he did was he built another structure. And no, it wasn't as tall as his father's, you see, a structure that he made for him, made for his father, made for himself. But it was still a very nice, immaculate structure all the same, just on a smaller scale, you see. And he put crazy glue, all nice and neat, all turn into an artist at the same time, building a structure that would have much meaning to it for even the future as he got older. And he built that for one of his little friends that he had. And so, what are you building for the future? Who are you building it with? Who are you building it for? What are your motives and reasons, or modus operandi in a good way, of why you do what you do? Take care, Perceptive Reader.